I lived in Hawaii for 7 months from October 2024 up until May 2025. This is what I would do differently if I were to move to Hawaii again. So, when I moved to Hawaii, it was a struggle trying to find a place to live. I toured a bunch of apartments. If you want my apartment hunting video, I'll have it linked in the description. I posted it on TikTok. But basically, I toured a bunch of apartments in Waikiki. I toured a little bit outside Waikiki, and like literally I couldn't find anything. I ended up signing a 6-month lease in a place in Diamond Head. And if I were to do everything all over again, I would still stay in Diamond Head. Let's look at the map of Oahu. So we've got the east side, we've got the west side, windward side, North Shore, and town, right? So I wanted to live somewhere around town because that's where my job was. I ended up choosing Diamond Head, and I think that is the perfect location if you want to be in town, like close to town. I was 10 minutes away from Waikiki, but not right inside Waikiki where all you see is tourists and a bunch of traffic, right? Another place I would actually live is Kailua. Kailua is kind of like a small town vibes kind of place. Most people who end up living in Kailua actually don't leave most of the time. That's where my ex-boyfriend actually lived, and I got to know the area really well, and honestly it had everything I needed if I were to live there. I also really, really, really loved Kaneohe. Kaneohe is where you literally get the views of the mountain. Like you're literally living inside the mountain, and it is insane. If you've ever been to the botanical garden, you would have been to Kaneohe. I would definitely live there because it's not that far from town. It's maybe like a 25-minute drive, and it's really gorgeous. Honorable mention would be Kaimuki. Kaimuki is close, it's in town, but it's not right in Waikiki, so it's actually perfect as well. It's a little bit more congested though than Diamond Head, so I liked Diamond Head. And if you are more interested in living in the North Shore, just know that the traffic is actually insane to get to town. There is one road. The second thing I would do differently if I were to move to Hawaii again would be to get on Bumble BFF or Facebook groups right away. I made the mistake of wanting to meet people organically. And as much as I do prefer to meet people organically, I don't want to be swiping on a friend. It's a bit hard. It's just hard in the sense that obviously people are working, have things to do in their lives. So they can't always hang out with you every week. So if you're like by yourself for most weekends, it's just kind of sad. Not making friends who are readily available to hang out all the time. And that's where Bumble BFF comes in, right? Bumble BFF is an app to meet people who you'd want to be friends with, you want to hang out with, right? I only tried Bumble BFF literally a month before I left Hawaii, and I was like, wow, I could have made such like long-lasting friendships using this app. And then Facebook groups. So there's a ton of Facebook groups where you can meet people with like-minded, like who want to maybe surf, who want to scuba dive, who want to go hiking, a bunch of groups basically. And I should have joined more of those because that's how you would actually meet people. Something I did do, which was good, which was a way for me to meet people, was I joined a hike club and a run club. So the hike club was really, really good to meet people. I did a trip with them and it was perfect. My friend actually runs it. I'll put their Instagram name right here if you are interested in, joining the hike club. The run club was good as well. I actually met like one close friend through it. However, I did find it was more difficult to meet people because there are just so many people, and I think they all kind of like knew each other maybe. I have no idea, but it was harder to meet people through the run club than the hike club. And another thing about making friends as an adult is you actually do have to reach out to people. I, for some reason, thought I was too cool to keep asking someone to hang out. If I asked them to hang out one time or twice and they were busy, then I'd be like, oh, well, I guess we're not ever going to hang out, which is not the case. But sometimes, people could actually be busy. So I think that was my mistake by assuming, oh, okay, this relationship is done because they couldn't hang out once or twice. So yeah, I would definitely say to follow up on people, make sure to keep asking them to hang out, make sure to keep in touch with people if you are serious about building relationships. The third and final thing I would do differently if I were to move back to Hawaii would be spend more time outdoors. And don't get it twisted, I was outside, I was hiking, I was going to a bunch of nature spots. But what I actually mean is spend more time camping, spend more time on like at the beach, and spend more time surfing. As much as I loved being a hiking girl and like going to all these like blowholes and like caves, I ended up feeling like I didn't spend enough time on the beach, which was pretty much the main reason I moved to Hawaii. My favorite beach was actually Lanikai Beach in Kailua, and I maybe went there like 3 or 4 times during my 7 months living in Hawaii. Surfing, I ended up realizing that I love surfing. My ex boyfriend taught me how to surf, and I just wish I went surfing with him more because most of the time he would go surfing and then come meet me later. But during my final days, I was like, wow, why did I not spend more time surfing, you know? And going camping, I camped 2 times in Hawaii. One time was like right on the beach, and then the second time was in the campground with beach access. So those times were amazing. And I was like, wow, I just love being away from everything. I love being in a place where there's no service, nothing, just me enjoying the beach and, just the surroundings. And I definitely wish I did more of that. So, yeah, those were the 3 things I would do differently if I were to move back to Hawaii. Let's recap. It would be to stay in Diamond Head or move to any of like the surrounding areas, which would be like Kaimuki, Kailua, or Kaneohe. It would also be to get Bumble BFF or just join a bunch of Facebook groups to meet people. And it would be to spend more times outdoors. I also posted a video about pros and cons of living in Hawaii from my perspective. It will be linked down below if you're interested in that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out my other links and get my book if you're interested in travel nursing in Hawaii as a Canadian for your first contract. Okay, hope you did enjoy this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.